And then you have, in addition to that, you have recently filed a defamation claim against this law firm as well as each of the board members for conducting the hearing that's involved with this particular lawsuit, correct?
Conducting the hearing and the statements that were made there too.
And what particular statements that were made in your mind were defamatory by any of the board members?
Well, we have Ms. Jacobs-Levy's public revelation that multiple board members thought I should have my auction license revoked for, her words, going after our employee. We have Mr. Bordelon, who said that he felt public reprimand was not strong enough. The board should have went further. Should have been gone further, but he doesn't always use the best grammar.
So that would be Miss Jacobs, and that would be in the September hearing or in the January hearing?
For which one?
Ms. Jacobs.
Ms. Jacobs clearly was all in the September one. She also stated in the parking lot that a vote was taken in executive session and that it was 3-2 in favor of yanking my license. And she said as she said publicly on record at the open part of the meeting, she was opposed to taking my license. She shared with us out in the parking lot that the actual vote was 3-2. If she was one of the ones who voted against, then I would assume that would only leave one other member who was opposed to doing so. So a public statement that I was not of the caliber that I should even hold an auction license, and that was said publicly, is clearly defamatory. Now, with regard to the January 8th, that is the meeting at which Greg Bordelon, despite having revealed the fact that his attorney advised him not to comment on the matter, he chose to do so anyway in justifying his no vote. He was the only no vote on the public reprimand, which in and of itself is defamatory. There was no grounds for a public reprimand.
So you don't, go ahead, I'm sorry.
But he made the statement at the January 8th meeting that I thought we should have went further, as evidenced by transcript that you have filed into the record.
Now, in the, you in fact were not having your license. The board did not in fact take a vote in which they did that, did they?
Apparently not on the record, but not in an open meeting, but Ms. Jacobs says they did in executive session, which is another violation. You're not supposed to take votes in executive session, but it was 3-2.
Was that her indication that there was actually a formal vote, or was that appears to be the actual feelings of the people in the meeting?
Well, she said a vote.
She said a vote. Okay. And so,
she said a vote. That's what she said out in the parking lot.
And those are the 5 members that were there. Ms. Steinkamp did not participate in the executive session, is that correct?
That's right.
So, at that particular vote, which was conducted in public, and you heard the vote of those particular people, it was 4-1, correct?
That's right.
So whatever the discussion may have been in executive session where there were people that wanted to take your license, that's not ultimately what they did.
That's not ultimately what they did, but the revelation that folk on that board felt I should not hold a license is defamatory. Fine, I'm going to pause and say I know I have one.
In which what?
In which the allegation is being made that I am incompetent, grossly negligent, disseminating out false and misleading reports. Oh.
And who would that have come from?
Well, like I said, it said for the board. This one does make reference to, yes, it's got the incompetency and gross negligence. It's got incompetency and gross negligence, providing false testimony before the board, even though before September 17th I was never sworn in for any statement that was made before the board. Rendering, submitting, subscribing, or verifying false, deceptive, or misleading or unfounded opinions or reports.
Are you alleging that the referencing of the fact that it says these acts may be in violation of these following statutes, are you alleging that that is defamatory?
Yes.
Then in the D8, which is the unavowed additional information, which this act may be in violation, efforts to deceive or defraud the public, and another statute reference, are you alleging that these statements of allegations against you are in fact defamatory?
Most definitely, because you are painting the picture that I have violated some auction standard by my mere right to express an opinion that I don't think that is a desirable setup. So yes, I most certainly think that's defamatory, because it is creating the perception that I have violated an auctioneer statute that required the ultimate reach on the part of this board. Short answer to your question is yes.
In your subsequent suit for defamation, you've sued Ms. Steinkamp, correct?
Yes.
And what items of defamation has she been involved with as it relates to you?
Because she has, according to your letter, she is the one who made the decision to put the blatant payroll fraud aspect out here, thereby resulting in the things you have just itemized, that I'm incompetent, that I am grossly negligent, that I have been distributing out false and misleading reports, all of which I think the Inspector General's report of December 9th, 2013 validate my position, not hers, or not the collective defendants.
So the mere fact that she authorized or may have participated in some form or fashion the actual filing of the complaint, not the filing of the complaint, but of actually placing the complaint issue for a hearing, was defamatory.
As you well know, Mr. Bankston, the purpose of a hearing is to take action against someone's license. When you do that, when you have no foundation whatsoever, and I certainly do allege that she did that in this situation, yes.
What about Hal McMillan as a result of any comments he's made that have been defamatory?
Well, Mr. McMillan made the comment that, and that was in the January 8th, and it's in the transcript, that the board taking the position of issuing the public reprimand was, in his mind, the extension of an olive branch. Now, that is a clear indication that, hey, we're letting you slide on something. You're lucky. We're trying to work with you. And creates the perception that I was somehow in the wrong. And I take offense to it, and yes, I believe that's defamatory. So
his reference to making an olive branch extension to you was what you thought was defamatory that he made?
Yeah, it's an indication that as Ms. Jacobs said, you're lucky we didn't take your license.
What about the mere fact that he voted to publicly reprimand you?
Well, clearly.
That would be defamation?
Stating the obvious there.